Most of us are familiar with the words mantra and tantra. But what is a yantra? Why are yantras so important in India? Before we get to that, let's rewind back to 1680s Germany. Ernst Chladni was a German physicist and musician who combined both interests to discover something fascinating. He filled a metal plate with a thin film of dust and ran a violin bow along the side of the plate. The resulting vibration had a strange effect on the dust particles, which organized themselves into patterns. Intrigued, he tried the same thing with different shaped plates, all of which were a resounding success and earned him the name the father of acoustics. Centuries later in the 1960s, Hans Jenny filled a metal plate with powder and attached it to a tonoscope to produce different sounds. Depending on the frequency, the powder arranged itself into distinct patterns showing the interplay between sound and matter. The fact that sound can impact matter is the key to understanding yantras. Simply put, a yantra is a mantra in visual form. The word yantra means machine or instrument, and at a basic level they're an aid to meditation. Their full purpose will be discussed later in the video. Yantras are traditionally etched onto metal sheets. Though they look complex, yantras are made up of simple shapes like circles, squares, and lotus petals. 5 of the shapes used in yantras represent the 5 elements of yoga. An upward pointing triangle denotes fire and masculine energies, whereas a downward pointing one denotes water and feminine energies. A circle denotes space and the element ether, and so on. Our 7 main chakras are twirling vortices of energy. Notice how similar the shapes look to yantras? That's because each of these chakra symbols are yantras themselves, and 5 of the chakras are linked to the 5 elements. So the root chakra represents the earth element, the sacral chakra the water element, the solar plexus chakra represents the fire element, the heart chakra the air element, and the throat chakra represents the element ether. These elements aren't just present in our chakras. Our own bodies are made up of these 5 elements. All of creation manifests as a combination of one or more of these 5 basic elements, according to the yogic sciences. Harmony ensues when all 5 elements are in balance in our bodies. Yoga too aims to balance the 5 elements through asanas, mantras, and breathing exercises. Each chakra is linked to a specific sound called a seed or bija mantra. Unlike longer mantras, the bija mantras do not have any meaning. It is the sound that is important. For example, the mantra for the heart chakra is Yam. According to Tantra, every part of the human body is influenced by a specific mantra. As an example, close your eyes and listen to your breath. You will notice that your in-breath sounds like so and out-breath makes a sound like hum. So-hum is a mantra that occurs spontaneously from the moment we emerge from our mother's womb and continues throughout our lives. So-hum means I am that in Sanskrit. Therefore, mantras are considered powerful enough to transform human consciousness. By using them in conjunction with the yantras, we can activate specific chakras. According to Indian scriptures, the entire universe emerged from sound or Nada Brahman. This primordial sound Om is said to be the source of all creation. In his experiments, Hans Jenny also noticed that chanting the Sanskrit sound Om produced a circle pattern with a center point, which is one of the ways in which Om has been depicted. Now let's look at how yantras are connected to certain number patterns. Have you ever noticed how some patterns are found everywhere in nature? The Fibonacci is a sequence of infinite numbers that begins like this. Notice how each number is the sum of its 2 preceding numbers. For example, 13 is equal to 8 plus 5. This pattern is among nature's favorites. For example, Wikipedia talks about how this chamomile flower reflects the Fibonacci sequence in nature. What's so special about the number 1.618? It's called the golden ratio and is based on the Fibonacci sequence. The closer a face is to the golden ratio, the more beautiful it is considered. Though spiral galaxies, hurricanes, and sea waves have been linked to the golden ratio, they're actually not examples of the golden ratio. But spirals seen in pineapples, pine cones, and seed pods are usually based on 2 successive Fibonacci numbers, and the ratio of these successive numbers is closer to the golden ratio. Not every pattern in nature follows the golden ratio, but several of them do. The golden ratio can be considered one of the templates of nature. Even the spirals of our DNA are based on the golden ratio. For these reasons, many people believe that geometry is the building block of the universe. But what does all this have to do with yantras? Well, ancient Indian philosophy says that all sacred objects should be created in harmony with the cosmos. So it's no surprise that yantras too follow the golden ratio as well as fractal patterns. So yantras too are an example of sacred geometry, just like the flower of life. Can a geometrically precise yantra start functioning right away? The answer is no, because yantras are powerless without human intervention. That's because every yantra has a ruling deity or an energy archetype. This is where it gets interesting. Certain procedures are done to attract these energies to the yantra. The process is called energizing a yantra. Once activated, a yantra creates a force field of powerful vibrations around it. According to Indian philosophy, some planets release energies that can be beneficial, while others release frequencies that can cause harm. This sounds superstitious, but modern science has confirmed that each planet does emit a unique frequency. For example, see this science article by Thoughtco. Of course, whether these frequencies actually influence human consciousness is still unknown to us, but according to the science of yoga, planets have a huge impact on humans. Not only that, different yantras are designed to attract different energies from planets and stars, which directly influence our chakras. The Navagraha Yantra, for example, is specifically designed to work with the 9 planets that have the biggest influence on human life. Apart from planetary energies, there exist malevolent astral beings, and yantras keep both the bad energies and negative entities away. Yantras attract an influx of positive energies and dispel negative vibrations. That's why yantras are called machines, as they function as instruments to repel negative energies while boosting the positive vibrations. Once energized, the energies are said to last for over 50 years. The larger yantras created for ancient temples are made from 5 specific metal alloys, and if consecrated in the prescribed manner, the energies are said to last for several hundred years. The 4 main types of yantras are the yantras of planets, architecture, solution-based, and deity yantras. But the queen of all yantras is the Shri Yantra. The Shri Yantra is considered so powerful that it was built into the foundation of every temple in ancient India. If you're not familiar with the science behind ancient Indian temples, Praveen Mohan's channel is highly recommended. Shri Yantra belongs to an ancient tantric system known as Sri Vidya. The word Vidya means knowledge, and Sri Vidya itself is part of Shaktism, which sees the divine feminine as the source of all creation and the ultimate consciousness that is present everywhere and within all living things. Though Shaktism involves hundreds of goddesses, they're all seen as forms of the one mother goddess. So Sri Yantra is a representation of the divine feminine and is actually worshipped in India. She is the goddess Tripura Sundari and is depicted as a bindu or dot right at the very center. Including the bindu, there are a total of 9 patterns in the Sri Yantra. Next to the bindu are 9 interlocking triangles, around which are 2 circles of lotus petals, one with 8 petals, the other with 16. This is followed by 3 circles depicting the future, present and past, and finally the square. The square denotes the element earth, and you'll notice that each side has a T shape on it. The 4 sides of the square represent the 4 directions, and each T shape is like a gate. They function as energy gateways, and depending on the pattern within the yantra, a specific mantra is used to lock or unlock these gates. Of the 9 interlinked triangles, 5 point downwards and represent feminine energies and the element water, whereas the 4 pointing upwards represent masculine energies and the element fire. These 9 large triangles together form 43 small triangles, each of which is linked to a specific female deity, energy, and aspect. So what does the seeker do with these 9 patterns? Does all this even make any sense? Or is this all esoteric mumbo jumbo? Nikola Tesla said, if you want to find the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. The ancients were much more in tune with the natural world and knew how to use these energies to raise human consciousness. So in the Sri Yantra, each pattern represents a stage in the spiritual practice. Some Sri Vidya lineages start their spiritual journey from the outermost pattern to the innermost bindu, whereas others do the opposite. It involves meditation, mantras, etc., and sounds simple, but the process takes decades. Multiple mantras are used with the Sri Yantra at specific stages and for specific purposes. Each mantra is directed at a certain chakra or a certain part of the body, depending on which energy one needs to access, as guided by the Guru. Every mantra activates a particular kind of energy in a different part of the body. How is this possible? Just like how our veins carry blood, we also have nadis, which are full of energy currents known as prana. Nadis are the same as the meridians in acupuncture. There are 72,000 nadis in our body, and the places where dozens of nadis intersect result in vortices of energy or chakras. So, chakras are the place where nadis meet. When chanting a mantra, your tongue hits the roof or lips of your mouth, which contain 84 meridians or nadis. These 84 nadis in turn are connected to different parts of the body, each of which is affected by the distinct vibration of the mantra. These then start to resonate with the mantra. The musician and author of Healing Sounds, Jonathan Goldman, sums it up best. Everything in the universe is in a state of vibration and creates a frequency. This includes various parts of our body, organs, bones, etc. When we are in sound health, everything in our bodies is vibrating in resonance. When something is vibrating out of harmony, we call this disease. Sound is an energy that can change the vibrational rate of objects. So if something is vibrating out of tune, it is possible to create the resonant frequency of the out of tune object and cause it to vibrate back to its healthy state. The chants induce our third eye or pineal gland into releasing neurotransmitters like serotonin, etc. This is now a scientifically proven fact. Mantras also influence our endocrine system into releasing healing hormones and even reduce our heart rate. So over time, the whole mind and body is transformed by the restorative powers of chanting. The ancient seers knew that each mantra had a distinct effect on the body. In yoga, it is vital to balance the 5 elements of our body for a harmonious life. That's why some symbols of the Sri Yantra and our chakras are linked to the 5 elements. According to Sadhguru, in ancient times, entire temples functioned as gigantic yantras. 5 ancient temples in India were built just to balance these 5 elements, one for each element. For example, the Kalahasti temple in Andhra Pradesh built to balance the element air. Even the location of these temples was never random. They were built exactly at points where the Earth's magnetic energies are maximum, just like ancient structures throughout the world such as the pyramids. And similar to Stonehenge and Chichen Itza, many temples were built to align with the sun's rays on solstices and equinoxes. This awareness of cosmic energies and how they influence the human body has been mostly lost today. Can you guess what this yantra is? It's the famous Borobudur temple of Indonesia, seen from the top. Indonesia was ruled for over 1,000 years by kings from India and was influenced by its religious practices. This Buddhist temple is in the shape of a yantra or mandala as they are known in Buddhism. To summarize, according to the ancient texts, Om is the sound that created the universe and is also a powerful mantra. Yantras are mantras in visual form. There exist specific mantras that balance and harmonize specific parts of the body, and yantras can be used along with mantras to attain moksha. If you found this video informative, please subscribe, share and like. Thanks for watching.